Another key demographic to watch out for 2020. For the first time, of course, those first-time voters out there. And one source of encouragement dates back to Generation X. Let's get to Natisha Land. She's exploring that angle for us tonight. Natisha?
Well, Ron, experts predict Americans will turn out in record numbers for the 2020 election, and some of them, as you mentioned, will be first-time voters. MTV has a plan to rally them and a guest to get to the polls.
+1.
Because every vote counts.
But voting with a friend counts a little more.
Get a +1 and +1 the vote.
As you just heard, the campaign is called +1 the vote, and here is why they are doing it. 4 million teens will turn 18 before Election Day, and research has shown more than 60% of adults have never been asked to register. So they're teaming the two of those up together. The network will have a number of sponsored events, including proms and voter registration and concert lines. It will also partner with artists voting for the first time in elections to help inspire some of their young fans.
People have done canvassing studies where people who are identified as neighbors are actually more effective at getting people to turn out to vote than people who might be perceived as strangers. So that's part of the motivation behind telling somebody to bring along a friend.
Now, if you haven't noticed, +1 is an updated version of Rock the Vote. Some of us might be old enough to remember that. It started back in the 90s as a way to get young people to the polls, and they used PSAs like this one with Madonna set to the tune of her hit song Vogue to do it. So over the years, the campaign has been responsible for registering millions of young people as voters.
There was even a study that looked at ads that were produced by Rock the Vote in the early 2000s, and they were able to show that that actually increased voter turnout at a rate that wasn't quite at the level of personal phone calls, but it was pretty close.
Our political analyst, Andrea Gillespie, also says young voters, that's that age group between 18 to 29 years old, made up about 19% of voters in the last 2 election cycles. So those votes could be pretty impactful for a candidate this time around.